What's going on, everybody? It's the Hook Cam, finally back. Sorry about the little bit of a delay. My mic actually broke and I had to go get a new one, so hopefully I sound much more crisp and professional on this brand new Blue Yeti mic or whatever it is. But guys, with all that being said, in this video we're going to be taking a look at the Patriots' third downs against the Eagles. I think it's very telling of an offense where they go on third down, who's their go-to guy, who are they trying to target, and exactly how are they trying to get that guy open in space. So we don't cover all of them, and in fact I kind of run through the first two third downs were screens, and this video ended up being like 30 minutes, so I cut those out and we kind of walk into this thing about midway through the second quarter as far as third down goes. So I know that I got a couple of friends who are asking for Raiders videos. Trust me, boys, those are coming out soon. So with all that being said, guys, if you could drop a like, hit that subscribe button, really would mean the world to me. Keep this thing going. I'm having a ton of fun doing it. Sorry for the delay again, but with all that being said, guys, let's dive on into this thing. All right, fellas, taking a look at another third down here. We got a 3rd and 6 for New England, obviously inside the red zone. We're going to get man out of the Eagles, and really I kind of want to look at how the dominoes fall on this play. Okay, so we're going to motion Jacoby Myers across the formation. 31's going to bump off, right, this defensive back a little bit, telling him to back up because that's going to end up being his man. Now we have 2-on-2 out here, right, with Ben Watson, James White, and these two defenders. Okay, where this ball is supposed to go is to Jacoby Myers on this post right there. Okay, but we can kind of see in the pocket right now that things are starting to collapse. All right, now that's where the ball's supposed to go. When we watch it from the end zone, that's where it should go. Okay, it's cover one. We have that skinny post on the backside. Brady still has the arm to get it in there. I don't doubt that. But as soon as he's getting ready to throw this thing, we got pressure underneath, and that's when we end up chasing, and now it's a circus back there. Okay, so when we look at this thing from the end zone, we'll see how this ends up breaking apart with that pressure from the right side of our line off the side of Marcus Cannon and Shaq Mason. Of course, the motion across the formation, straight up cover one, we know where it's supposed to go. We can see 12 is staring it down, and as soon as he's going to throw that thing, he sees that we've got a little bit of pressure. It might be a little skittish. I can kind of agree with that. I can get behind that. But again, we start running around, we start chasing. And that's where our first read isn't there, so you would expect him to go somewhere else with it, but now look at what the Eagles have done. Now the second read on something like this ideally would be something to the right side of the field because we're already looking that way. Maybe he can thread one into Ben Watson, but the way that this route concept is going is we have that skinny post and we have the wheel underneath it. Okay, I do not like wheels thrown into the end zone because it's a hard ball to throw, right? And if there is a safety who's over on that side of the field, it's going to get picked off. It's a very difficult ball to throw because you have to throw it over this defender, but far enough away from this defender who's coming to this pylon to try and make a play on that thing. Okay, so I guess kind of smart to keep it, but again, all of the flow of this play is broken up because of that pressure, right? We have the skinny post, that's not there. The wheel, tough ball to throw, probably not going to make it. James White on this out route, well, we'd love to hit it, but at this point we're scrambling around the pocket. We have no chance to hit it. Okay, and then if we do look on the backside toward Edelman, what are the Eagles doing? Exactly what every other team has been doing all game to New England. Okay, we are going to cover up underneath with this cat, and then we're going to bring this dude down over the top, and we're going to basically bracket Edelman. Excuse me, I think it's this defender that's going to eventually bracket Edelman right there. Okay, so if he is looking onto this side, he used to be where he could come back and he could hit Edelman on this deeper route, but not anymore because we have that bracket. So we can see kind of how teams are, I guess Philadelphia is just defending New England in the red zone, doing a good job with their cover one, doing a good job with their man. But again, it's this pass rush that really throws everything off. And when we take a look at this thing from the end zone, Fletcher Cox, like I said before, one of the better defensive tackles in this league, does a great job shooting this gap. That's an outstanding job of working right through those two defenders, getting pressure on the quarterback. We got to get hip to hip. We got to be stronger as a combination against Fletcher Cox's than he is against one. Now, again, Marcus Cannon does have this threat of 94 who does step out a little bit. And again, we're talking about New England and the stuff that they do with their backs and why they are so elite with those guys. Just that little stutter step out by James White is going to delay that edge pressure. Right, and sometimes maybe that edge guy is going to make a sack on this thing if James White doesn't do that. right? It's the little things like that that I think New England does very well. But again, we see how this play breaks down. We see where the pass rush is. We also see where 12's looking with his eyes. He's not just locked in on Edelman. He's not just trying to force it to one guy. No, we're trying to get it elsewhere. But again, things like pass rush is getting in the way. Now we can't make a throw on the run. He's looking backside. Again, it just becomes a circus in the backfield. So that's where we went wrong on this third down, and we'll take a look at some other ones here in the coming videos. Fellas, next third down we're taking a look at here, we have another 3rd and 7 for New England. Now, again, we see the Eagles in a straight-up cover 1 look, okay? And we'll get into what the front's doing in a little bit. Pass route-wise, we have a very, very simple concept, okay? We have a slant by number 1 and number 2 on the bottom. Okay, we have a flat or an arrow from our number 3, and this is very simple, like Madden stuff that we're talking now. Okay, we short motion number 1 in up top. He takes a vertical route, and then we have number 2 run almost a zig. Actually, no, check that. We actually have a switch up top. That's really cool. Something that I did not see before. So what we're going to do up top, we're going to motion him into a little bit of a short motion, and we're essentially going to switch these two. Now, in any switch route, right, obviously we're going to take this one, and he's going to come across the face of this number 1 receiver, and he's going to take this thing vertically. It's going to clear out space. With our number 2, he's going to run a zig, right, come in, stick this thing, and come back out to the sidelines. We essentially have a choice for 12 on this. Since it's straight up man across the board, he takes his old reliable 11, hits that first window that he's open. Again, we're seeing straight up cover 1 here. This is almost a race, right? You're racing against the clock. Who's going to get there first? Is the pass rush, or are we going to get the rock off? Okay, obviously they get the pass off first. It's a completion for a big first down for New England on that 3rd and 7. Now, taking a look at the pass rush on this, because I've seen a couple of teams do this now where they're going to overload one side of the line. You set up guys for twists big time on this, right? You see these two stunt. Now, the path of this defensive tackle is key because he comes straight into the center. That's key because you have to open up the lane for the looper on this, who does get through and makes a little bit of contact, but 12's too quick in that situation. Now, you can combat a good pass rush a lot of times with a quarterback who's getting balls off, but again, you have to have the offensive coordinator who's working in sync with you to dial up these quick pass plays and putting yourselves in position to win like they do here. So again, nothing too crazy out of New England on this one, but we can see how we saw man right on the last 3rd and 7. We saw cover 1. Philly does the exact same thing here. So they line up an empty, get a defensive look that they like, and then they take a very easy pass route, like just all slants, something like this, and they convert on this 3rd down. Really good play call from New England. Pass rush wise, or pass protection wise, you don't have to do a lot on this one, just to kind of hang on for dear life, and 12's going to get that ball off, which he does. But a good conversion on this one, and New England keeps the drive alive. All right, fellas, so a 3rd and goal for New England here. Really simple pass concept. We're going to motion across with 16, try and get these backers to bump over. It's going to be man coverage from Philadelphia. Anytime you see in the red zone, it's going to be man coverage or it's going to be a Tampa 2. That's pretty much the only couple of things that defense is going to run inside the red zone, especially inside the 5. A lot of the times it's only man. So we're going to motion 16 across, which is going to bump over these backers and these defensive backs. Now, what they try to run off of this is they try and run a corner with Ben Watson and an arrow with James White. Now, where this thing gets mucked up is with Ben Watson's route. As this receiver motions across the formation, you can see it bumps him a little bit inside. That's where Ben Watson has to get to that play side shoulder and try and get in front of 31. But again, you run the risk of getting called for a penalty, which makes the play not even happen to begin with. But you can see here, as we motion across, he went from outside shoulder of Ben Watson to now head up. Okay, see how he's trying to get to that shoulder right there, but in my eyes, I would imagine they thought, I'm going to get flagged if I make contact. I'm going to do my best to get out there. Hopefully he goes over the top of me as opposed to me running just straight into him and getting flagged on that thing. Again, not a great ball from Brady, but to be honest, it wasn't there to begin with. I wouldn't be surprised if he was just throwing it away. Really good job by this pass protection on this. Yes, it is a quick pass, but a great pass set from Marcus Cannon. Outstanding job. Marcus Cannon, to me, is one of the more underrated right tackles in our league. These edge defenders line up so wide, and you have to take such a big kick step off the start. He does a great job with that, beating him to a point, slowing down his rush because he doesn't really know where to go, and again, just hunkering down and sitting on that pass rush. So a good job protection-wise, route-wise. I think that where it falls apart is with Ben Watson not getting to that upfield shoulder, but again, really good job from the Eagles on this. Don't want to take anything away from them. And an incomplete pass on 3rd and goal, forcing the Patriots to kick yet another field goal in the first quarter. All right, fellas, another 3rd down here for New England. England this time inside the red zone. What we're going to see again out of Philadelphia is just that straight up cover one. So at this point in the game, we got third down. We're inside. We're in scoring opportunity here. You want to take a shot that's conservative because you still want to get points out of this trip. This is right after the Carson Wentz strip sack. So you motion on your back into the formation. You switch up defenders. Maybe you like that matchup a little bit better. Okay, that's the first thing that happens. The second thing that happens is you open up a ton of space up top for Mohamed Sanu to run this goal line fade. All right, not a bad ball. It is a little too far out in front. It's not the worst thing in the world, but you're trying to take a conservative shot, one that you might be able to win with. If it's incomplete, it's not the worst thing in the world. You kick a field goal, live to fight again. Okay, I do think Mohamed Sanu could probably get a little bit more vertical in his route. I think that he stems this thing a little too far to the sidelines instead of trying to get upfield right now. See how he's still working out to the sidelines a little bit. I think he might be able to get more vertical on this, and that would up the chances of completing this thing. But again, not the worst ball in the world. I definitely don't hate the play call. You're trying to take a shot without the risk of having this thing picked off. Decent protection from the offensive line. This is definitely more of a quick pass, even though it is going downfield. You really just got to hold on for a second. Those defenders are going to rush upfield as a tackle, and you can just kind of wash them by and shore up the inside of the line, and you'll be good to go. But again, that's the thought process going into this thing. A conservative shot, right? One that's probably going to go incomplete if it's not there. Worst thing that happens is you kick a field goal and you live to fight again. Really good job by Teddy Karras on that thing, hunkering down and fighting against Fletcher Cox again, one of the best nose tackles in the game. We do get a little stunt on the inside. Really good job by this Pats O-line. Those interior three are playing good football right now, and it's showing against teams like Philadelphia. Solid job. But again, that's where the thought process is on this ball. That's why it's incomplete. Live to fight again. You take the points when you can in the NFL, that's for sure. That was the sole touchdown pass of the day, Julian Edelman. Some of the things that I love about what New England's offense does is they play off of things, just like any good offense would in the NFL, right? You build off of certain formations, certain motions, and that's kind of what we have here with New England. Now, it's not exactly what they've done earlier, but we've seen them motion Edelman into the backfield again with James White earlier in this video. So we do the same sort of thing. We have him line up here and run back out like he's going to get a quick screen, and we're going to try and get to the edge on this thing. Now, what that does is it forces this safety to roll down because he's that support over here, because numbers wise you have 2-on-2, and if he does want to take this edge, he has a lane. But we know that safety's going to roll down. He's coming in hot on this thing. You run Dorsett right behind him, right where that safety's supposed to be. Edelman delivers a good ball, and it's a good 6 points for New England. But again, it's just the little things that New England does. We've seen this defensive alignment from Philadelphia before too, right? Just straight up cover one. There's your safety back deep. Everybody else is manned up. Really easy pass play on this. Good job all around from New England executing, and a good ball from Edelman for an easier 6 points than one would imagine. All right, guys, 3rd and 5 for New England. Ball's on their own 26. What I want to show you guys with this video is, again, just the effectiveness of bracketing Edelman, and also showing you guys where Brady's looking on this play to start. So off the bat, we know it's going to be cover one just because of their alignment and how their safeties are kind of pre-rolled. We can see that one is a little bit deeper than the other, and you can kind of see off the snap, see how he rolls up like that. That's something that you're going to see as a quarterback. So that's going to make you look to this backside, your one-on-one matchup. Not a great route from N'Keal Harry. See how he kind of breaks, and he breaks into that defensive back. This is where 12 is looking to throw the rock first, right? But we have no separation on that, so we can't really throw it there, obviously, right? It's going to get batted away or it's going to get picked. So we come back to our number 2, which is Edelman, who's almost breaking across on this, but again, really good job by the defense of bracketing that thing and keeping it nice and tight together, not allowing any separation for 11 on this ball. So then he comes back to his 3rd read, which is Ben Watson, who's coming up across deep on the field on this one. Now, in this position, the Patriots kind of have him, right? We have one-on-one with Ben Watson on this defensive back. He doesn't have a ton of separation, but he's got enough where a quarterback like Tom Brady's going to try and put that ball on him. But again, the pass rush on this thing is what kills it, right? We have a lot of interior pressure. Now, Brady doesn't get touched, but again, when we watch this thing from the end zone, we'll see how much that affects Brady's ability to throw this football down the field. So we can see off the snap, right, where's he looking with his eyes quickly? It's going to the left, looking for N'Keal Harry. That's not going to be there. So he comes back to Edelman, who we can see is bracketed up by these two guys. That's not going to be there. So he goes to Ben Watson, which is his 3rd read. Okay, this is a really good job by the offensive line. let's make no mistake about this thing. He's got 4 or 5 seconds to get this thing off. It's really good coverage. Okay, this is a coverage sack. If it would have been a sack for the Eagles. Okay, but we have a really good job, right? Marshall Newhouse, who's gotten a ton of flack, and I know he's kind of a band-aid right now for New England. Obviously, they want to play Isaiah Wynn. He's their first-round pick. But Marshall Newhouse kicking back, staying nice and tight to his guard, working to a spot and beating that defensive end. Good job there. Fletcher Cox almost gets a hand on 75. Ted Karras does a good job working him across and out of danger's way in this pass rush. Solid job there. Marcus Cannon hanging on for dear life against Brandon Graham, doing just enough where Brady can get that thing off. The pass rush really, the pass protection really is done very well on this. Okay, it really is. Brady goes through 3 of his reads and then gets it away to a safe spot where he knows only his guy can catch it, or it's going to be an incomplete pass. So again, this is where the stagnancy from this Patriots offense comes from. Right? This is where it happens, okay? We're trying to look for that number 1 read. He's covered up in this cover 1, okay? Edelman's bracketed. We're not going to be able to get the ball out to him, and then we're just trying to get either a big game or an incompletion with our throw to Ben Watson on this one. So again, we can see how good the coverage was in this Eagles game and how it was affecting the Patriots into this third quarter. All right, fellas, last play I want to show you guys. We got a 3rd and 6 on the Patriots own 35. The reason why I want to show you this clip is to show you what defenses are doing to adjust to New England, and then how New England is adjusting off of that. And that's constantly what football is, right? Every play has a counter, and every counter has a counter, and that's exactly what's happening in this. Okay, so we're going to short motion Edelman, and we're going to see again, instead of it being this defensive back, it's this defensive back who's going to roll down, and he's going to try and bracket Edelman on this, right? Pretty standard. Now, what you know as a quarterback in this situation is that somebody has to account for the deep middle of the field when we're not getting any more pressure. Okay, besides that, we're manned up. Okay, manned up here, he's manned up on the back. We've got a man-on-man with Edelman, and then of course we've got a man-on-man with N'Keal Harry, and then this defensive back is coming down to bracket Edelman right there. Right? Now, first read on this for Brady looks like it's Edelman to Ben Watson to Jacoby Myers, who's coming in on this in route, and we'll be able to see it right here. Okay, we'll see the short motion from Brady. He's checking the safeties right there. First read is going to be Edelman. Okay, then he's going to go to Ben Watson. Right, but we know that there's that safety over the middle, so he comes to the backside to Jacoby Myers for an easy completion. So we can kind of see how this whole thing works out and how everything kind of connects on that, right? They're going to bracket Edelman with somebody, which is going to leave somebody else open. Now, in the game on Sunday against Philadelphia, I don't really feel like the Patriots were playing to really put it on Philly. I felt like they were playing with the lead, they were playing to be conservative, and they were playing to get the hell out of Philadelphia healthy and with a win. And that's exactly what they did, right? Whether you like the way they did it or not, that's exactly what they did. And that's really how I see the Patriots with their play calling and how I see them going about their future and into the playoffs. And people ask me, how do you think New England's going to do? I think they're holding a lot back on offense. I don't think that they're calling their full playbook. I think they're going to start to open it up as you see us get closer to playoffs, and especially once we break into playoffs, we'll see them get more and more into their playbook. But they have stuff like this in the back. I just don't think that they call it all the time. This is a great read from Brady, right? We go through 1, 2, and 3, we hit our backside, and that's how we've moved the chains on this one. So again, I don't think that they're calling their full playbook. I think they're trying to hold back. I know from experience that you don't want to call everything during the regular season. You want to have some stuff in your back pocket in case you need it further down the line. So anyway, guys, with all that being said, we took a look at the third downs against Philadelphia in this past game. I hope that you enjoyed. If you did, please go ahead, drop a like, hit that subscribe button. It would mean the world to me. With all that being said, guys, I'm the Hook Cam, and I will see you next time.